Welcome back to AM Northwest. Despite high unemployment, new jobs are being added to the economy. And here to share ways to help your resume stand out in the midst of this pandemic, we welcome back career strategist and professional brand expert, Dr. Parker Walsh. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? Doing
Good.
great.
So we are adding more jobs, which is unusual, right?
It is unusual, but even though we're adding more jobs, we still are in one of the historic highs in terms of unemployment. But there are being jobs added, and employers and organizations are reformatting, recreating, and actually creating new jobs out there. So now is the time not to give up and throw out the baby with the bathwater,
Right.
but really to stay vigilant about looking for something that may be in your particular field.
So you want your resume to stand out, and one of the things you say, which is really key, is to keep it simple.
Yeah, you want to keep it simple. Listen, recruiters spend and hiring managers spend about 10 seconds, actually less than 10 seconds to go through resumes because they're getting about 250, and in this economy, probably even 350 or more applications per position. So they go through really quickly. So while you want your resume to be attractive, you don't want to go with a lot of fancy formatting and tables and things of that nature because about 80% of employers use applicant tracking systems or ATS systems that can't read all that fancy formatting and tables. So you'll lose a lot of content and you'll lose all the creativity that you put into the resume if it goes to that system. They can't read it, so they're not getting that vital information that may keep you out of the running. So you want to keep it super simple. You don't want to have an objective. You don't want tables. You want it to look visually appealing, but you want to just keep it simple and be able to relay the information that makes you most attractive for that particular position and that employer.
In your notes, you say to use a summary or career profile section. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, instead of an objective that says, here's what I want,
Right.
What you want to do is use a career summary that says, here's the amazing things about me that I can present to you, right?
Okay.
It's kind of like an elevator speech.
Okay.
It allows you to be able to say all the fabulous things that you're able to do, the accomplishments that you made, and it really highlights in a very succinct manner, here's what I have to offer you, and here's how I can really support your organization, solve your problems, and take you to the next level.
Would it be important to say not just your duties, but how you affected the company, how you're able to bring success?
Yeah, absolutely. People look at resumes, and I know a lot of people hate writing resumes. It's probably right up there with public speaking, which is why people do probably such a bad job of it. But what people think about resumes as a kind of historical listing of everything that they've done. So they list their tasks that they've completed or titles that they've had, as opposed to looking at it as a living document that's being your brand messenger on behalf of you. So what you want to do is not just list what you've done, but you want to list the results and the accomplishments that you've achieved as a result of that. So instead of saying I'm a strong leader or I've managed 20 people, talk about because you've managed 20 people, these are the results that you were able to achieve because of that. Maybe you raised productivity, you increased customer satisfaction, or you brought in a certain amount of money or managed $1 million account that you've increased to another $1 million or something of that nature. So you want to be results and accomplishment focused and not title task focused.
Don't you want to tailor your resume to fit the position?
Yeah, this is a big thing. And this goes back to me saying why people don't like resumes. So they figure, one and done. And
right.
That's not the case, right? So you want to make sure that you are tailoring every resume to every job that you're applying for. Because each job description lists some key words that immediately when a recruiter or a hiring manager is looking at a resume, they're looking for those key words to say, this is the person that I need to hire. So you want to make sure that you're including those keywords in your resume so that when they see your resume for that job, they know that you're the one. It also shows that you really thought about why you want to work for them and how you can support them, as opposed to, again, it just being all about you. And be sure that you keep your resume under 2 pages, because usually when they get to page 3, they're not going to look anymore. So you want to make sure that if you can, keep it down to 1. This will help you be very succinct in how you're writing and lets you focus on the accomplishments and the results if you keep it down to 1 page or no more than 2. But you definitely want to make sure that you're incorporating those key words that speak to the job description and what the employer is looking for. And if you do that, you'll stand out and be stellar and successful in getting what you want.
Do you include a cover letter?
Absolutely. There's been a lot of debate right now about whether or not you should include cover letters, and you should always include a cover letter, particularly if they give you the option. Now, sometimes with those ATS systems, they don't ask for it, or they ask you to include the cover letter in the actual system or in some key location on the website. But you should include one because what it allows you to do is to speak even more about what you bring to the table, to tell your story and relate your story to what it is that you want to do in the job so that they can get to know you a little bit better. So what you can't include in the resume, you can find space to include it in your cover letter and let that be another brand document for you that represents how fabulous you are and what a great job you're going to do with the organization.
And I would think that if you know anybody who works for that company, you want to have somebody go in and say, hey, be sure to take a look at this person's resume.
Yeah, networking is key. Still to this day, most positions, up to 80% of positions are really received through networking. Somebody that that always still works.
Right.
That's always the best way to go. So if you know someone that works there, I always recommend to go onto the website where the organization is, or go into LinkedIn particularly, look for the people that work there, see if you have a connection there, and then reach out to them and let them know that you're interested in one of the positions that are opening and who would be a great connection, or who should they direct the resume to in order for you to be able to be hired in that particular organization. So networking is still the number one way to go, but you definitely want to make sure that when you make those connections, you have the perfect resume to be able to turn in to make sure that you're the one that's looked upon as the ideal candidate for the job.
One last question. I'm sure it's a weird one, and because I haven't done a resume in 20-something years. So do you include hobbies? I mean, there was a time when you put down your hobbies and things that you did in your off time. Is that something you include on your resume these days anymore?
No.
Okay.
Do not include that on your resume.
That's what I thought. I just like,
yeah, no hobbies. You really just want to focus on what it is that you bring to the table that can help the employer.
Right.
So speak about, if you have special skills, if you speak a different language or things of that nature, then definitely you want to add that on there. But the fact that you've traveled or you've done these other things, hobbies no longer belong on the resume anymore.
I thought so, because it's been forever since I've done it. All right, Carol, Dr. Parker Walsh, thank you so much. It was excellent talking with you. All right, we'll be right back.